Welcome to Chicken and Dinner, folks, with Sluffy and Wolf. We're here to talk about PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and our journey after the jump. It's our second week for our podcast here, and we're going to be talking about a few different things, a lot of interesting things. And starting it off, we're going to talk about the stream, the invitational stream that they had for EU and North America. Now, Sluffy, what do you think about this? I know we watched some of the footage here.
Man, I was blown away. Obviously, there was some issues, some lag, some latency, stuff that we kind of expected. But what was the big standout for me was the spectator mode. It was the first time I got to really see it and really see some people that were controlling the camera well, watching some people that were good at the game fight. And it was awesome to see players move around the map, to see, which teams jump to which spots. I just had a great time, and it was really cool seeing the different play styles of EU versus North America. We had definitely a little bit more aggressiveness, I think, in North America, and a little bit more like stocky kind of cat and mouse games in EU. So it was cool to see both play styles. What did you think?
There was definitely a lot of interesting things. I definitely understand what you mean about the EU's play style versus North America's. I guess you can kind of almost say we play like our past of how the countries even were established, which I kind of like. It was great to see how people move about the map with the spectator mode, watching how everybody jumps out of the plane, and really astonishing how many people go away from the flight path and don't drop straight down. Now again, this was a doubles or duos, not a squad, so it does change the loot table system where you're going to be dropping to. You can obviously kit out a duo much quicker than you can a squad, so you don't have to go to those bigger ticket item areas such as Snaya, Georgia Pole. Some of the
two people is so much easier. So much easier. It was also cool just to see the spectator mode in the map view, like when we press M in the game. I wish they'd left it up a little bit more, but I could almost watch a whole game like that and then go back and watch the fights that happened, because it was just fun seeing the tactical maneuvering.
Yep, and it gave you, somebody would take damage or start to get into a firefight, and they can see what weapon that person is currently using, and immediately jump right to them across the map. Didn't really matter where they were, which is really, really cool to see. I think as far as spectating and announcing, maybe even some esports, which we'll probably talk about here in a little bit, is going to be great. You can really get everywhere on the map and do some overlays with it with some replays, and I think it could really turn into something big.
Yeah, I'm thinking if they want to really capture a game too, you're going to need at least like 6 observers, maybe kind of all jumping around. And then, if you're the director, you can cut to camera 1, cut to camera 2, kind of thing. Cause I think it might actually be impossible for one person to fully spectate, a match that could have 64 plus people in it.
Definitely. And you'd run into those firefights where, 4 teams running into each other in different spots of the map. You're not going to catch it all from one spectator. So you got to have some multiple angles. And that's why jumping to all those streams, but if you're looking at 64 players, that's impossible to watch every single one of their streams.
Yeah, I will say it was cool. I watched and I'm going to just tell the story anyways, but I watched Lyndon and Rhino in game 2, Rhino Q, who totally blew me away in this tournament. I think he's an up-and-coming guy to watch. They got pinned down in military. Lyndon was like down twice. Rhino, he ended up dying too. Rhino, was solo by himself and spent the whole match, being hunted. He was in the blue zone. He was killing people and ended up in second. And, I was like, that was such a cool run. I went to his Twitch stream and watched the game from his perspective. And that was like really cool, because you could see like almost a storyline unfold underneath you and then go see that perspective of it from the start if they were streaming or capturing their video. Did you see any good action while you were watching that was notable?
There was a couple. I took some clips in our video version. I'll actually kind of show some of those. Some bush Wookiee action, which was great. Got a couple kills from watching people get that good old bush Wookiee in, as well as Kong Fan and Grimm's. Their win they had was just gorgeous. The way they placed themselves on the circle, they couldn't have asked for a better layout where they were. Perfect cover, and everybody had to run right to them through the open.
And they were ready to shoot. Those guys killed a lot of people.
And they've got great shots. I mean, if you watch both of them play, I've spent some time watching Kong Fan, and it's been great to see him kind of how he plays and how quick he is. And there's a lot of players like that. Makes it definitely interesting and hard when you have to run up against somebody like that, because there's not much you can do to stop it if their targets are set on you.
And I think Grims has won quite a bit of money in H1Z1 tournaments, if I'm not mistaken. But no one won money in this tournament. It was actually a stream for charity, and the really, really good news is that PlayerUnknown, Bluehole, were going to match up to $100,000 if it was raised, and the community raised over $123,000. They matched $100,000 of that, so over $223,000 was raised as a total for the charity.
That's actually pretty incredible. I mean, I know. I think I saw somebody where Dr. Disrespect, his stream alone brought in a lot of money from a lot of donators, helping the cause out.
And just so everyone knows, it was for Gamers Outreach Foundation, and it's just a charity who provides kids in hospitals with recreational therapy through video games. So if someone, maybe there's a child that has any kind of, numerous ailments and they can't get out of bed, they can't go shoot a basketball or go on a walk, these guys are going to come in and bring them, Game Boys or computers and just try to get them, being social, interacting, having fun, trying to put smile on face for people in need. So if you're trying to donate, you missed the stream, you can just look up Gamers Outreach Foundation.
Definitely a great cause. I know video games have always been a big part of my life. They're always kind of my go-to source of an outlet. If I had a rough day at work and I just want to go back, I'll kick a few beers back and play some games, hang out with some friends, and it definitely just kind of levels me out. There are some enraging moments that we all kind of get, but it's all in good fun at the end of the day.
Definitely. And just moving on a little bit, we've got a few things to talk about. It looks like there's been some new in-game items that have been rumored.
Yep, so I do have them kind of pulled up in front of me right now. This is data mined. I don't know the exact source of who pulled this information out. Now they did on the Invitational. You saw some of the actual items in the picture that they had displayed, and some of them I'm pretty excited about. I know I have the PlayerUnknown's trench coat, some red high tops. I did not get the deluxe edition. I had purchased these separately. So these new in-game items are kind of exciting for me because they're just another way to customize your character. We don't know if these are going to be just in-game pickup items or if they're going to be crated items. I'm hoping they are crated.
We might be able to pick up stuff in the real world and then keep it like a rare clothing drop, right? Yeah.
So they've got a lot of, it's just some kind of gimmicky things, maybe not so tactical. You got a nice bright purple mask, a white suit coat, just different kind of crazy things. They got some skirts, which is going to be pretty funny because you're going to see guys wearing them, male model characters, and it's just pretty goofy.
Kilts, come on.
Yes, a kilt. They are definitely skirts. You also have some short shorts with a leather strap. I'm
rocking those already.
They're pretty interesting. I don't know. I'm pretty excited for them because it just adds a little bit more depth to the characters. Whether they're gimmicky or not, you're going to kind of be able to even maybe establish themes. There's already been people who have established kind of a pizza delivery man outfit, which is pretty good. Pretty funny when you see a whole squad roll up and they all look like pizza delivery men.
I will say, looking at these items though, they are some eclectic styles, but nothing's too crazy, which I think keeps in line with the general realisticness of the game. Realisticness, yeah, that's a word.
Yep, and it looks like they do have some just kind of partnered stuff. So for Twitch, there's a Twitch vest. I don't know if this stuff is all real. Maybe it was just somebody had, these might be concept pieces. But if that's so, this is probably going to be for Twitch partners that play the game and are either partnered with PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, because it is something, if you are a streamer, you can go and do. You can apply for partnership with them playing their game.
And I think those actually have been in the game since the start, the Twitch specific ones. And, PlayerUnknown was definitely trying to get the word out about their game through streamers in the beginning. So this, definitely seems like a cool reward, maybe for those people that supported the game from the start. And It also looks like, we've got prizes, to talk about. Or are we talking about winner, chicken dinner? Now I'm getting some loot as well.
I think that would be awesome. I think that's how it kind of in a sense should be. I love the crates, but I feel like you should be getting something else from winning. The BP that you get, the credit that you get for winning in a squad match is what we primarily play as squad matches. It's kind of underwhelming versus if I was just going to go up and queue up in solo.
Oh man,
you're going to get so much more.
You can get the same amount of points in a solo game jumping military and killing like 3 people before you die. It's like a full squad game.
Yep. So it's kind of underwhelming there for all of us squad players. But I'm really hoping that they add something where you do get in-game items just from winning.
I would like to see benchmarks maybe. So, you hit a milestone and maybe they're not too easy to get, but say you get 250, 500, chicken dinners. Maybe you get some kind of special hat or something that just, lets the other people that are running around with you in the loading lobby know that they've got a real deal on their hands.
Definitely. That would definitely be something really cool. I know other games kind of implement things like this, even if they're going to be doing seasons, which I know PlayerUnknown has talked about. Hey, say you're a season 1, you were top 10, you made it to there at least one point in your time period there. You're going to get, say, a hat to start off with. Now, you're probably going to drop it because you're going to need to pick up a helmet, but somebody may be rolling through and they see that hat sitting there. Now they're like, ah, crap, there's, he was top 10 and now he just looted here. Oh, where is he? Is he still here? Might put a little bit of panic in him.
Yeah, like if you're running into an open door, you're like, okay, someone's here, maybe I have to fight him. You run into an open door and see that hat, you're like, I'm out.
Or even, it could even be almost like a cosmetic type thing where if you've ever played, like World of Warcraft even, it's a transmog, so it's an overlay over whatever item you pick up. Maybe it's a backpack. You pick up a level 3 backpack, it's going to show in game for you, and when people see you as, hey, you're a top 10 player, or you have so many wins, it's its own skin.
I like that. Or even maybe a parachute skin. So when everybody's jumping out at the start.
Maybe like a gold parachute, and you see that flying down, you're like, oh, that's was a top 10 player, or they have so many wins, It can add another dynamic to the game where it gets into a psychological level.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I think we'll have a long time to speculate about this too, because hopefully, and as I've said, they are focusing on optimization for now. So do expect lots of in-game items and possibly prizes to be implemented, but we might not see them till release. So I'm not holding my breath right now, and I am saving my BP.
And then PlayerUnknown, they did also talk about crates, and a lot of the in-game items they don't want to release until after the game is fully launched. They don't want it to become a meta where they're just trying to get money or things like that, where it could be made from microtransactions, like some other games had done. They want to wait till it's a final release so people kind of have a little bit more faith in the game, I'd say, because some people do still question in the community, hey, so many games have been in early access and never come out of it, and PlayerUnknown really wants to get this game in swing.
100%. And I'm with them on that, and I really hope to see them stick to their word. Moving down on some optimization stuff, though, we've heard some things about some new weapon balancing.
Now, they already did
people are reacting to the patch.
Did do some of the weapon balancing. My favorite gun actually was the M16 A4, and I haven't even used it, I think, in maybe 2 weeks. As soon as I find a SCAR or even an M416, I pick it up. Or even I'll swap it out for an AK, which is unlike me because I don't really care for the AKM.
And I have seen a similar trend in my playstyle for the versatility of the SCAR and the M4. When I'm grabbing M16, it used to be that laser, and now that they all have closer, I would say they're not exactly the same, but they're more close together on those long distance 4X shots that I like having the ability to go into full auto on the SCAR and the M4 in case someone's going to rush me. This allows me to grab a sniper for long range and use my AR for mid and close.
Definitely, and I kind of run into that a lot too. I'm switching, the full auto doesn't fully still seem like it's fully narrowed down, and I think they could use some work on it. But having that SCAR now as even my close range weapon or an M4, rather than switching to, a shotgun or a UMP or even a Vector, I'm just quickly switching fire modes and I'm taking the shots with that in full auto at close range.
Yeah, and talking about, the Vector, we covered it, coming out last week. Now we've got some time to really play with it a lot and see where it kind of fits in. What are your thoughts on that? You use it a lot more than me, so I'm deferring to you on this one.
Most games I pick it up. I absolutely love the gun. I do feel that it is kind of overpowered in a sense. At close range, I think maybe there should be a little bit more damage reduction to it. Again, it is throwing 45 out there, so it is going to be a harder hitting weapon. But I mean, you unload a 13 round mag, you can't even comprehend how fast it goes. It's just gone, and it melts people as soon as it touches them. They're down. But going against, like an AR that has a bigger round, or I guess a different style of round, but even at like a mid range, that thing in full auto just melts people. We've had several of our teammates, even I've done it. You wipe people, and we've seen streamers do it. You'll wipe a whole squad with a Vector without any hesitation because it works so well. So I think this is going to need to be a little bit reduced as far as the damage output that does. I still think it should be a mid-range kind of weapon, where you can take that single fire and throw some rounds down at people. But at that close range, I feel like it should be a little bit dropped off in damage, and maybe keep the damage drop off in a sense where it is now. Just leave it where it does the same amount of damage, but just that close range, because it just a shotgunner doesn't even have a chance for the most part.
And the rate of fire feels good.
Yep, rate of fire. I mean, it's accurate for what it is. It's a high rate fire SMG, so it fits into its category. I just feel it needs to be taken down a little bit compared to like the UMP or even the Uzi. The Uzi does some crazy work up close, but that's kind of what it is. It's a micro Uzi. It's meant for that up close brutality fight where you're just spraying. Versus the Vector is similar, but could be more for a mid-range, that little bit longer distance combat.
Lots of good weapon opinions here. I'm kind of excited to see what you have for us on loadouts and loot spots later.
It's going to surprise you a little bit today.
Let's just touch on spectator mode one more time. I know we talked about it with the stream a little bit, but any other thoughts going forward that you didn't see in spectator mode that you want to see later? I'm going to start playing around with it in custom matches where they're allowed. I want to see how hard it is to move around as the person controlling the camera. So I can't talk on that yet, but I will be able to comment on that in the future weeks.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, I think even like in a solo game, I feel like this should almost be implemented because you get knocked out in a solo game, it's over, and you got to just now re-queue up. At least give you the option to maybe see who just shot you, and then maybe watch the rest of the game. Because right now, there's no way for you to do that. You get knocked out, you're done. And then kind of coming up to a point we'll talk about in a minute, but a lot of us, we run into our friends in game. You see your friend on the kill feed, you switch to Discord real quick and send them a message, hey, I'm coming for you. If, say you get knocked out or they get knocked out, they know you're in the same game now. They could all go spectate you and cheer for you or something like that. And I think that kind of could be an awesome community factor. You get knocked out by somebody and maybe you thought they were cheating. You want to watch that now. You can take a look and see what's going on with them.
Where did he shoot?
Or just watch, say there's a streamer that you see in your game and you die and you want to watch him. You can take a peek at him. Kind of watch how they move about the map, and also helps you build a strategy pool for yourself and where people are going and things like that.
And a disclaimer to anyone that's listening to the podcast, maybe trying to get better, do not alt tab to Discord. We definitely all do that. But if you're alt tabbing while you're in the middle of a firefight, you might die. So don't follow our folly unless you really have to rub that salt in the wound.
Yeah, it can cause you some major problems in game. If you're alt tabbed for too long or alt tabbed at all, you shouldn't be. It's a survival game. That's not a survival tactic.
Oh, but I do it every time.
We all do.
This is too funny. Awesome. Oh, just next thing on the list, definitely something that one of our friends had thought was different for a while, but loudness of feet. This was recently tweeted about by PlayerUnknown. Is different kind of sound, but same decibel, whether you're barefoot or wearing different kinds of shoes.
Yep. So for all those people that are running shoeless, thinking you're quieter, it just changes that sound of that footstep.
To get those combo camo boots on and blend in with your environment.
And kind of moving on again, we're going to be talking about something that we're going to do as a kind of a community thing. The map callouts right now, there's nothing really established that I have seen. It is very nice that you can mark on your map where to go and what you're talking about on as far as traveling the map. But I think having an established callout system will help even more, so you don't have to pull up your map. I've had several times where somebody's driving and you're like, hey, go to green marker. And now they pull open their map and we hit a bump or we hit a tree or we hit something, we take that damage we didn't need to take. Versus if I could say, hey, we're going to go to Crater or we're going to go to this certain village outside of Yasnaya. You have these certain callouts that can help navigate the battlefield a lot faster, the island, and easier for everybody. They just know you're jumping out of the plane. You don't have to pull open your map to look. You just know right where it's at.
Yeah, and hopefully some of that too will just come as we play more and more. You know, I try to, in other games like say Grand Theft Auto, try to not ever look at my map and just drive by visuals. I'm trying to do that now, and the map that we know is Arangel. We'll have to get Morath to say that. We don't know how to pronounce it yet. But, you know, just driving around and trying to, you know where the mountain is in correlation to, you know, Gatka and like what's in the middle and having names for those little villages, not just, you know, everyone knows what Pachinki is. We're talking about some more specific, kind of more, detailed areas. Having those names really help with the tactical gameplay. So hopefully we can get,
Go ahead.
I was just saying, hopefully we can get, you know, that standard established.
Yeah, or even like dropping in on cars. You know, we have L car and J car. Well, there's another L car that is north of the villa, the estate, whatever you want to kind of call it, the compound. There's several different names out there for it, and we want to kind of get a community standard set for this.
Well, in week one, I mean, L car and J car were pretty much synonymous with each other, so you'd have people just jumping all over the place.
Yep.
Full teams trading cars.
So just to clarify some things, there's Rozek car, there's Water car, Venice car, like there's so many names out there. We want to just clear the air on that and hopefully, you know, give everybody this established sense of actually established locations on the map. Especially if you're coming in and say you're joining a community that you haven't really been a part of, you want to know you're going to be on the kind of same page as them. Or if you're just solo queuing into squads and you're in that in-game chat and they say, hey, we're going to go here, you know where they're talking about. You're not going to be left out of the loop because it's just it's a commodity that you have to use.
Especially since we have one map. You know, we don't have to learn 10 or 15 maps. There's just one map for us to learn really well. So let's learn it really well.
Definitely. And now I want to get to one of my favorite spots, the loadouts and loot spots. Sluffy, what is your loadout of the week, if you will?
My loadout of the week right now is definitely level 3 everything. But gun-wise, I had a lot of fun the last couple of days with a suppressed car 98K, 8x scope, and cheek pad. I have been trying to do a little trick, but I'm just not quite quick enough with it, where when you go to reload, you can throw some bullet loops on if you have it to reload faster and then throw the cheek pad on. But you are tabbed if you're doing this, so you might lose out on some vision. So the Car 98 suppressed 8x cheek pad. and I love the Scar right now. So it's the Scar L, it's the 4X, it's the angled foregrip, which a lot of people are going to say vertical. I like the angled. And then all the other really nice attachments, and of course suppressed.
Very nice. Now that's similar to mine. While you were visiting your family, I was playing and I was making that grind, and I established that I had a lot of good games with the Scar L and the Car 98 as well. Now both I would love to have suppressed, and we had a few games where I had both of them suppressed, but not all the times I had that. And I will have to agree, I went on the angled. Statistically speaking, all of my games I have won have been with a Scar L in this past week with an angled grip. If I was using a Scar L and we won, it had an angled grip on it. So for me, that's what worked. I got some of my best kills with it. It just seemed to handle a little bit better than with a vertical. And then the Car 98, throwing 8 times on it, and it's just fun all day long. Hitting some really good shots. I have to check and see what my farthest shot was right now, but I think it was around the 400 to 500 mark, maybe a little bit further.
Nice. Okay, and then now to the next section, loot spot of the week. Where are you dropping, and why are you dropping there?
So this one, it seems to be a popular, especially in the community we're part of, is South George. I can't get enough of it. Those warehouses, you got the hospital, and then you've got the military barracks and those apartments right there in South George. Not crates, not North apartments, right in the South. So few people ever really went there. Once we started going there, it was just great loot. You occasionally are going to get some gunfights, and the kind of the best part is, there are friends usually that we're fighting in South George because it's other people we play with that know our strats and they like it, so they adopt it. So it kind of adds another interesting dynamic and can cause some serious rage. What about you?
I was almost going to say the same loot spot because obviously we go there all the time. I'm glad you covered it this week so we don't have to talk about it in future weeks, and maybe people will stop coming there and leave us alone. But my loot spot of the week is actually going to be Nova, which is the crates on Military Isle. But I'm not going to the crates these days. I'm jumping in solo if it's jumpable by plane with me and 15 of my best friends, and I'm actually landing on the 2-story little wraparound balcony house that has a rooftop access across the street, hoping for an AR of some sort, and then I'm just watching the crates. It's got this great advantage on all the crates. I can get tabs on how many people are in there. I can take shots and, kill a couple people if I see someone kill someone else and loot. And then when I know there's only 1 or 2 people left, I move into the crates, fight them, and hopefully take their loot. This is best case scenario, but really liking this Novo move right now.
Okay, so you definitely like the labor by bullets. Let everybody loot for you, and then you take their loot. Not a bad approach.
Yeah, well, I found recently I've lost a few games because I get so tunnel vision on loot early that I don't actually know, are there 5 people around me? Are there 8 people around me? So I've been trying to slow down my looting a little bit and really just keep my eyes out. And this is in solo, obviously. In squads, you've got 4 eyes, so it's a little different. But in solo, really trying to slow down my play and get up my awareness.
That sounds great. I do like the Novo crates. Actually better than the Georgia Pole crates. Not a big fan of those crates at George. I don't know why. I don't know. I feel like I don't come out well enough equipped I may have an AR and things like that, and I can get loot from other people, but when you're running squads, I feel like it's hard. You might get some meds, or you get no meds, and you have an AR, but if you get into a firefight, you're running a very high risk of not making it out of it the next one you run into. And it could happen because that is a pretty high volume area. So it kind of scares me a little bit going into there versus apartments and things like that. Odds are you're going to get some bandages or some first aid kits out there.
Yeah, and we will have a podcast in the future that discusses the difference in places and strategies for jumping where you jump depending on whether you're playing solo, duo, or quad, because it totally makes it. I'd like to jump into some rumors and confirmed development stuff that we got out of a stream this last week. We'll just get through these real quick. There was a developer from PlayerUnknown. They were answering questions on a stream kind of as they came in through the chat, and this is just a little clip of some of the big things that were said. Obviously, there is going to be more cosmetics added soon, and there won't be any paid content until after release, so you're not going to see microtransactions yet. The dev team's staying focused. Their focus is actually, they've said, to work on patches for, right now, frame rate and server lag. So if anyone's getting a stutter or just having issues with latency, hopefully that's going to start to improve in the near future. And
they're also going to be
working
on the console platform. I know a lot of people are seeing this game come up on streams, and it's being talked a lot about. It is coming to console, but they're going to wait till the game is fully optimized on PC, and then going to transfer that over to console framework.
And we're going to see new changes in the bullet drop and spread mechanics. They're working on them, so sniping is not by any means done mechanics-wise. Same with shotguns and full auto sprays. Look for some changes in that in the future.
Yep, so they're also going to kind of segueing right directly off of that. They're going to be making changes to the weapon damage. Armor stats are still working right now. They haven't worked out that full mechanic on how they want it to either mitigate damage or just how that they work together. So it's going to be interesting how that ends up playing out.
And it looks like they're wanting to release at least one weapon a month until the game comes out. After that, I don't think we're going to see, the game just can't be flooded with guns, but it looks like we're going to get at least 5 more guns. So probably another shotgun, probably another AR, probably another sniper that are dropping on the map, not in crates. Maybe another pistol and another SMG. We'll see. We did just get the Vector, so I'm hesitant on that.
And then also, this is kind of a huge one because I've run into it, and I know several of my squad mates have. I don't know if you have, but
pew, 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 pew.
They're working on directional audio. There's been plenty of times where it's pretty good. I mean, you can typically tell where people are running, but not all the time. You either won't hear them or you hear them in a different spot than they actually are. So pinpointing that person that is rushing you, it makes it harder if you don't have a window to see them or anything like that, and you're relying on that audio to defend yourself when they come through that door or are going to try to throw a grenade. So I think this is going to be a huge thing when that comes out and is kind of fixed and tweaked right now. It is a stereo platform right now. It is not in surround. So if you are running a surround headset, it's not fully optimized for that.
Yeah, to just piggyback on that, I did hear a couple people say if you're in like 5.1 or anything higher, just to switch to 2. They're having a lot better, time seeing where the bullets are coming from. And I hope that they're also going to address the whips and the cracks, because right now those things are throwing me off like crazy. And they also were saying that they're hotfixing all of the falling animation glitches. There's a lot of them, so they're getting as many as they can every day. But hopefully you're going to see less swimming in the air and taking damage. And we're also going to see a lot more custom style games that have themes. I've been watching some streams this week. I know some other people have, and you may have seen the zombie mode where it's one squad versus 96 other people. They did one where the squad was given ARs and the people could get melee weapons. One where the people just had fists and the squad got melee weapons. But you think that, ARs versus melee, you could obviously beat the whole server if they don't have guns. Not the case. When you see 80 people run over a hill at you, there's not much you can do. If you stop to shoot, they're, 78 of them are getting 2 feet closer. It was insane to watch, and I definitely recommend checking that out. They've caught the eye of PlayerUnknown. He loves seeing the modes, so we should see some custom.
I mean, in any kind of game, especially what they're doing here is they want, he already, he wants mods to come out. He wants things like this. It just grows the community because you're going to get people be like, oh man, that mode looks really cool. And that might be what grabs them to this game. And then they branch off for the rest of it. And it just goes from there, and they're getting their friends. It can really grow the community by jumping into this. Which I think is awesome. I mean, back in even like Halo 2 days, or just any of the Halo days, doing those custom games, it was fun spin-offs. You're playing, the zombie mode. I think they're pretty funny in almost any game where they try to make it, because it's not always quite the same in every game. And it adds some really funny mechanics to it, where you have those just gut-wrenching laughs because it's hilarious.
And They also mentioned that the map is sort of like a forgotten island somewhere in the Black Sea. The Russians used it as a military base, and it was abandoned due to, we're assuming, something happened at Milta Power. There was a quote-unquote accident. But the basic, gist of the whole thing is that, it's this really, raw, abandoned, kind of cool architecture map, and it is named Arangel. So if you were wondering, the PlayerUnknown's daughter's kind of homage to her. And he did also say that they're putting more interior models into the map as they can. So if you go into that blue 2-story, eventually those might change, or which you can hide in or peek from without getting shot.
Also, PlayerUnknown has always had kind of faith into this genre, and he's knew it could be done right, and I think he did it pretty well. And of how many copies they've sold, it's awesome seeing what has come out of it, and the little time that they have had with the tweaks they've had has been phenomenal. And even during the tournament that they had, the host kind of commented on it about how for an early access game, there was little crashes. Now, we've all experienced the crashes and the rages kind of happen, but I didn't really even see any of them happen during the stream. There may have been some. Now, I know we kind of jumped into gameplay while we were waiting and instead of just watching the whole thing, but I really didn't hear any outcries about crashes during that time. And I haven't had really any since this past update, which has been awesome. I think I've had 2, or maybe they've crashed right after the game has ended. So it hasn't affected me either losing rank or anything like that, which has been awesome.
Yeah, so keep sending those bug reports in so they can hot fix the most crashes as quick as possible. They also, and this is one really cool thing I saw that they actually had a sketch of, but they are working on 2 more maps. One is going to be a small scale desert town affair, and the other is supposed to be some kind of like island with a mountain in the middle, possibly like snow, so it's like really high up, and like temperate jungles on the outskirts. We might see some different terrain, maybe something with a lot more trees. So if you're like in tree fights, that could be cool for you. The desert town, that's the one they had the sketch of, actually looked like the middle of the map was a really big city with like a midtown, uptown, downtown, like bigger than Yasnaya. So that could be a lot of fun.
Definitely. I mean, we just had a game today that ended in Yasnaya, and it was a blast. Coming in there. Yeah. Now, there weren't that many alive in the squad game, but it changes the whole dynamic, because you have to check windows, you have to check every possible avenue. And we had one that ended in Pachinki, I think it was yesterday.
Avenue, pun intended.
And it was great. It changes the complete, it's so fast paced, especially when the circle gets small, people are moving, they're coming out of buildings. You might have to run out of a building and get to that next circle and worrying about if there's a guy around the corner. And it just completely changes everything that you kind of know about the game, versus having that circle end more of in a field where everybody's kind of either out of cover or one team has cover. It's fun, it's fast paced, and you watch the numbers drop, almost faster than you do in, a field, because the confrontation is so up close.
And it's so quick.
And it's chaotic. You can't revive teammates at most of this. You have to just fight and keep pushing. And it sucks to leave your teammate behind, but you have to do it because you gotta just push forward for that chicken dinner.
And what a weird feeling it is to loot a AWM and an 8X scope and then drop it for a pump shotgun right at the end of the game.
I mean, you gotta do what the situation is dictating. If there's one in front of you, you might need it. So it's fun though, but it brings another interesting moment to the game, that doesn't always happen.
Yeah, and I just want to, close out. I don't know. I think you mentioned it, but just want to say they have sold 2 million copies now, and counting, of this game that's in early access. So if you're wanting to get in on the largest growing community right now in gaming, it's PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds. And it's definitely the community that I'm happy to be a part of.
Certainly. And we have started our own team, Royal Vanquish, and we're part of a great community. And I'm going to leave a contact for us. You can contact me on Twitter. And we're trying to grow this community. We have a community on Discord that is phenomenal. We're actually going to be interviewing the creator of it next week. There's 3 actual Discord communities that are top notch, and it gets higher in the competitive status the higher you get in it. The first one is it's a large community that is great. It's a little bit more narrowed down than your the Reddit community, because it adds more of a competitive feel to it. We have pretty much all the top 25 players in there. And you're constantly pushing. It has ranks tracked, so you can see who's in there. You're going to see a lot of streamers in there. It's a really awesome community, and it's awesome to see it kind of grow and meet different people in there.
Yeah, it's definitely been how I met everyone that I play with this game, and I'm super thankful that this Discord exists, and we'll have a really cool interview next week all about how it works and who's in it and how you can get in it and how you can use it to improve your gameplay and get more chicken dinners.
All right, well, I'm getting kind of hungry, so I might need to go play. I don't know about you.
Yeah, I'm ready to shoot someone.
Be closing this one out. So thank you guys for joining us again. It's been great, and we're going to be trying to release these every week on Friday. I'm going to try to get them on iTunes and Stitcher, depending on what platform you're coming from, so you can get the audio. Again, this is going to be a video platform as well as an audio, so if you just want to download it or if you want to watch something with it, we're going to be putting some pictures or videos depending on what we're talking about to kind of give you more of a visual perspective of the changes that are coming or something we're just talking about.
See y'all next time.